Hello everybody, this is Refresh, and since Zendikar Rising happened in the middle of the pandemic, there wasn't a proper pre-release, but I managed to get my hands on a pair of pre-release packs, so I'm going to have a mini catch-up pre-release of my own. We're going to open these packs, take a look at what's inside, build some sealed decks, and then play them against each other. Go ahead and get started with this first pre-release pack. There is a spin down in the bottom. There's a guide to building a pre-release deck. On the other side, it gives you a little information about different gear to gear up for adventure. Looks like this is specifically if you are a core from Zendikar. You have your premium foil here, promo card. In this case I have a Master of Winds. This is slightly bent. A card divider. A code for Magic the Gathering Arena. I'll probably have redeemed this one here, so I don't think you're going to be able to get these packs. And then 6 packs of Zendikar Rising. We'll go ahead and open these packs and then see what we have inside. Here we have a Synchronized Spellcraft, Cascade Seer, Marauding Blight Priest, Broken Wings, Disenchant, Shepherd of Heroes, Living Tempest, Turn Timber Ascetic, Cleansing Wildfire, Tajuru Snarecaster, Fearless Fledgling, Vastwood Surge, Kabira Takedown, this is one of those double lands, Nahiri's Lithoforming, a Forest, and a Core Warrior token. Now we have an Expedition Healer, Pyroclastic Hellion, Shell Shield, Nimana Skittersneak, Kazandu Stomper, Turn Timber Ascetic, Stonework Packbeast, Malakir Blood Priest, Cleansing Wildfire, Cunning Geyser Mage, Relic Vial, Cinderclasm, Amiria Captain, Agadeem's Awakening, another two-sided land here, a mountain, and one of these cards that you can use for double cards. Now we have a Farside Adept, Tormenting Voice, Negate, Practice Tactics, Drana's Silencer, Might of Marasa, Glacial Grasp, Feed the Swarm, Rabid Bite, Cliffhaven Kitesail, Cinderclasm, Ameria Captain, Baying Veil, that's our double face card, and Zagras, Thief of Heartbeats, as well as a swamp and a card that you can use for your double face cards. Then we have a Tazim Raptor, Sneaking Guide, Zulaport Duelist, Ghastly Gloom Hunter, Jaraga Visionary, Mind Drain, Akum Hellhound using a showcase format, Bubble Snare, Cliffhaven Kitesail, Relic Golem, Soaring Thought Thief, Salundi Vision, this is our double face card, Magmatic Channeler, a Foil Balaged Recovery, another double face card, Island, and a ad card. Then we have a Cliffhaven Sellsword, Teeter Peak Ambusher, Anti-Cognition, Oblivion's Hunger, Reclaim the Wastes, Nimana Skittersneak, Nahiri's Binding, Nissa's Zendikon, Grotag Bugcatcher, Prowling Felidar, Acquisition Expert, Cinderclasm, Skyclave Cleric, this is our double face card, Thieving Skydiver, Plains, and another ad card. We have an Ardent Electromancer, Deliberate, Core Celebrant, Reclaim the Wastes, Marauding Blight Priest, Cunning Geyser Mage, Skyclave Sentinel, Vanquish the Weak, Risen Riptide, Sizzling Barrage, Lithoform Blight, Ravager's Mace, Spikefield Hazard, this is our double face card, a Relic Robber, a Forest, and one of these double face helper cards. Now that we've opened all of our cards, let's take a look at each color and evaluate their relative strengths. Core Celebrant fits well into the life gain deck, if there is one. We have a Skyclave Cleric, which also fits well into a life gain deck, and is a card that you'd want to play if you're in white at all, just because it's a land on one side. The Prowling Felidar, I think, is only an aggressive deck that is doing the landfall thing, so we have to see what it's doing. The Nahiri's Binding, I think, is good in general as a removal spell. The Cliffhaven Sellsword, I think, fits into the party decks if there is one. I don't think that my pool is going to support that, so we'll put this near the back here. The Tazim Raptor, I think, is fine in the deck where you are doing landfall or you're trying to reuse your double face lands that you have played, so I think that's okay. It's a flyer and does some damage as well, so in fact I think that this might be slightly better than the clerics here. Emiria Captain is one of the party payoffs here, and so if you can get warriors and clerics and wizards and rogues, then that would be quite good. It's not good otherwise, so actually I'm going to put a little bit below here by the above the Cliffhaven Sellsword. If I can get enough mix of cards, then maybe I'll play that. The Practice Tactics, like the Captain and the Sellsword, is another party specific card. The Forest Adept, I believe, fits under that party specific card as well. Your opponent gets one more card than you in the end, and so it's not quite as good the card draw, but you know, sometimes you want a wizard, and that's a way to get a wizard. So we have the second Emiria Captain, great if you can do the party thing. This is the cleric deck, it looks like. And we do have two other clerics, so maybe this will fit in with this. Kabira Takedown is a land that also happens to be removal. Pretty good. Would gladly play that. This fits into the landfall deck if there is one here for me, and so it's probably a little better than the Felidar. The Shepherd of Heroes is another cleric, another life gain payoff, and it's a flyer. There's a 3/4. I think that's probably pretty good if you can get your clerics and or party thing going, so probably the best of these clerics. Well, no, probably better than the Core Celebrant, but not as good as the Skyclave Cleric, and Disenchant is strictly sideboard here. So I think white is okay. We have some kinds of synergies here, but whether it works or not is going to be dependent on which color it teams up with. Looking at blue, the Risen Riptide is really only good if you're kicking, and I don't think I have a ton of kicker. Geyser Mage is one of those kickers, and I think that is a decent card here. Deliberate is just okay. Theming Skydiver is another kicking card, but this is just generally okay as a 2-mana 2/1 with flying, and so sometimes you can steal a thing, sometimes you don't need to steal a thing, and I think that is perfectly fine. Anticognition is a counterspell that I'm not eager to be playing unless I'm in that rogue deck. Celindy Vision, I think, is fine because it is a land that can also eventually draw you a card if you draw it late, and so we'd be probably play that in any such deck. Bulb Snare, I think, is a kicking removal spell. Maybe I'd play it, but I'm not 100% certain. I guess it's fine, especially if I have kicker payoffs, so I'll play that. The Duelist is good if you need a rogue or if you're in the mill deck. So we will put it back here in case it's in the right deck. The Bane's Veil, again, like the Celindy Vision, I think is a card that you could probably just play in just any deck here. The Glacial Grasp, I remember this being decent in terms of a tempo play, so maybe we'll play that. We'll see. Negate is strictly sideboard. Cunning Geyser Mage, that's our second one. The Shell Shield is also a card that has some kicking ability, but this is, I think, a defensive card that you only want in very specific decks, so we'll put it back here. The Living Tempest, I think, is just okay. Definitely not eager to play this card. Cascade Seer, I guess, is a party payoff, but this is the only one in blue, and so I don't know how much we're wanting to play blue just for the Cascades here, which I guess is fine if you have party going, but if you don't, it's just like mediocre. So that is that. I think blue is okay. There is a need for this to work with some other deck that has some stronger cards. Like if there is a party deck that really wants blue, it's possible blue and white could work together in that sense, but I don't think that there's anything too strong here. So we're not hoping to be playing blue. Taking a look at black, the Lithoform Blight, I don't think is something that we're interested in playing unless we need to fix really badly. So hoping not to play that. Vanquish the Weak, removal spell, we'll play that. The Marauding Blight Priest, I guess, plays into the Cleric life gain thing, so if that's what we're doing, then... And we do have a number of Clerics in white, maybe this is a card that I want to play. I think Acquisitions Expert can be fine, because you can just grab one of your opponent's cards and take them off of it for a while until you lose your Expert. I think that's good. This is fine in the Rogues deck if I'm playing Rogues. I don't know that I am, so we'll just keep it back here. So Blight Priest and Skitter Sneak are specific. I think the Expert we want to be playing in general. The Oblivion's Hunger, I don't think that we are too excited to play that. We might play it. It's probably better than Lithoform Blight. Mind Drain is in the Rogues deck. I'll put that back here. The Ghastly Gloom Hunter is some kind of kicker creature. I guess it's okay if you have some sort of ramp theme going on, but I guess it's okay. Yeah, I'd play that, I guess, because it's good in the early game, good in the late game. Yeah, all right. I've come back around. I think it's generally good. We have a Feed the Swarm, which I guess kills a thing. It costs you life. I don't know how many of them I want, but the first I'd play. Drawn as Silencer is a party payoff. I don't know how much party we have going on here. We have Rogues and Clerics, and that's just another Rogue, so not too excited to play a 3/2 that can sometimes kill the thing once in a while. Put this towards the end. Agadeem's Awakening is quite strong. It's a land that can just get you back a whole bunch of your creatures at the end game, so would absolutely play that if I was in black. Malakar Blood Priest is a party payoff, but also a life gain payoff, so it's an interesting one that sits in between the Blight Priest and the others. We have a Skitter Sneak and another Blight Priest. We have a lot that is very cleric oriented here, specifically the Blight Priest, the Blood Priests. The Gloom Hunter will also gain life, so maybe there's some sort of combination of black and white that can go here, but the payoffs are kind of weak, but the synergy is there, and then black has Agadeem's Awakening, which is really good. If we're also looking at black, we have the Soaring Thought Thief, which would team up with blue for some sort of Rogues deck, but I didn't see a ton of mill here, so it's not great. And then we can also play it with red in order to get the Ravager's Mace, which is pretty good, I think. And then also the Bomb of Zagras, Thief of Heartbeats, as a 4/4 flying Death Touch haste with a party thing going on, and then gives your creatures Death Touch, which is pretty cool on top of that. So would love to play this if black and red were a viable color pair here. Now to look at red, we have a Relic Robber. I think a 2/2 with haste, I think it's okay, and then you can start giving your opponent creatures that can't block and they just do damage to them. Seems pretty good. Spikefield Hazard is just fine. You can occasionally kill a thing or help finish a thing off, and it's a land if you don't need that. Sizzling Barrage, not too exciting, but I guess it can get blockers out of the way. The Ardent Electromancer is a party payoff of sorts, and it's okay as a body. Sometimes you can get some mana off of this. Cinderclasm, I think, is sideboard material, because it just wipes out little guys if your opponent has them. This is a party payoff here, the Grotag Bugcatcher. So I think that there's something good to go with the Ardent Electromancer here. The Ambusher is just a beater. I guess it can be alright, but I don't know if I'm going to need that. Maybe there's some sort of party payoff as well, so we'll hold it there. The Channeler looks like it is an instant and sorcery card here. Discarding a card to exile the top two and then choose one of them to play, I think makes this probably good enough to play at any given time. And then once you have those instant sorceries in your graveyard, it's bigger, but I think just as a looter makes it good enough to play here. The Hellhound is good in an aggressive landfall deck, and just that, so we'll hold this in case that's what we're doing. Sneaking Guide is a way to get some guys in with damage, and it's a rogue. There's a party payoff here, but I don't know that we'll play that. Another Syndiclasm. A Tormenting Voice, I guess sometimes you just need to get a card, so we can play that. Another Syndiclasm, wow, we have a lot of those. A Cleansing Wildfire, I think, is for those landfall decks, like the Hellhound needs, so we'll keep it with that. We have a Pyroclastic Hellion, which I think is also a landfall payoff here. It's not a bad landfall payoff, but I don't know if we're going to have the deck for that. Here is Lithoforming, is again another landfall payoff, and not especially great as it is, so not looking to play that if I can avoid it. Then we have another Cleansing Wildfire, and a Synchronized Spellcraft is a removal spell, and an expensive one. I'd probably play exactly one of these in any given deck. Red is not great. I mean, I have some rares here, but these are not like high value rares, and then we have just some dudes. And so, I don't know, maybe the party classes here will work out by playing that with black. I mean, my desire is to play red and black just because of Zagras, but we'll see. Green gets us to Reclaim the Wastes. That is a way to fix or play multiple cards, multiple colors, so that's an option. This is Zendikar is not what we're looking to do. Another Reclaim the Wastes. Valakut Recovery would probably play in any deck that's playing green. Drag of Visionary is fine because it draws a card as it enters. Bite is a removal spell. I like that a lot. Might of Marasa, fine if you're playing a kicker deck, I guess. It's just a pump spell otherwise. I think there's possibly a reason to play this. The Turn Timber Aesthetic will give you a little bit of a breather if you need it. I guess it's a fine body. Kazandu Stomper is one of the landfall cards, and also lets you get second uses out of your double face cards, so something to consider if you're playing that deck. Vastwood Surge, this is a ramp card, and this is a payoff for kicking as well, because if you can ramp and kick this, then you are going to smash your opponent down, but that is definitely something that you have to do first, so we will put this here. The Snarecaster, I'm not really looking to play this. Maybe if I really desperately need a rogue. The Turn Timber Aesthetic, we have a second one. I think it's, again, it's an okay card. Broken Wings is a sideboard card. I don't know that green is especially strong. I mean, there's some okay cards here, but I'm definitely not looking to play it. So we'll put this over on the side here. And then we have a Skyclave Sentinel. This is a kicking card. We have a Relic Golem, which I guess is a mill card. We're not really looking to play either unless we're playing mill or kicking deck. The Cliffhaven Kitesails, I guess, can be alright if you need ways to get things through. The Pack Beast, I guess, is a way to do party, so it might fit in the right deck here. This is a Cleric payoff, and I think this is a reason to try Clerics, so maybe that's something that we'll try. We'll keep this Kitesails on the side in case we really need them. So we're looking at maybe black-red party or white-blue party or black-white Clerics, and I think those are the main things that we're going to look at. I think we're just going to start with red and black because we already have these right here. Alright, this is kind of the start of this deck here. Let's see if we have enough in the way of party for party to matter. We're heavy on rogues. We have a couple warriors, a couple wizards, and 3 clerics. And then the pack beast, which can be one of whatever you need it to be. It's alright in terms of a deck. The synergy is not very strong, but we do have a top-end beater, and then ways of getting lots of other cards back, so these are all thoughtful things here. If I were to play this deck, I would have to cut 4 cards from it, so let's see if I can cut this down here. I think the Mind Drain is really obvious. Probably a Tormenting Voice. Remove the Oblivion's Hunger. Probably the Drana Silencer at the top. And then this would be my black and red deck. I think it's okay. Next up, let's try pairing white and black and maybe splashing Zagras. I don't think it's strong enough. I mean, there is some party synergy here, but yeah, I think we can easily let go of this one. And I don't even think I need to look at blue and white. I think the red and black deck makes the most sense here, and maybe we just need to tweak it a little. The relic file would have fit into the other deck, but I don't think that we're quite there on clerics enough to play this. Also, the Spikefield Hazard doubles as a land, and so we can almost count this as a free card, and so we can actually bring a card back in, in which case maybe the Drawn Silencer will fit in because this is kind of a party theme. And the Academy's Awakening also doubles as a land as well, and so maybe bring another card back in which case the Tormenting Voice may be it. Alright, I think that this is the deck. All we need to do is add some lands now, and we have one of each here, so we're slightly heavier on black because of Academe, and so we will add 8 swamps and 7 mountains. Here are swamps, here are mountains, and this is the deck. Let me know what you thought about the pre-release pack and the deck build. If you had a different route that I should have went, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to learn from your wisdom. Otherwise, I will be back to do another pre-release pack, and then we will play these two against each other. If you found this video enjoyable, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more of my videos, you can hit subscribe. This was Refresh. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.